Hi my lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Amy and I'm a cruelty-free makeup enthusiast and blogger, and apparently right now I'm a kitten too with these little ears. I just love this little headband. I got this from 4th Rate Beauty like a year ago. I think it's so cute. I always put it to like put my hair back when I do my makeup and my skincare. I feel like I'm kind of, am I like getting a little blurred out here? Let's see, let me adjust the settings here. There we go. I think that's better. I think you can see me now. So today's going to be a good old-fashioned get ready with me. So I'm just going to, you know, put stuff on my face. We could get ready together, chat. It's been a while. I took a tiny bit of a break because I've just been so busy with work. And I know when people are like, oh, you're busy, everything's always busy. And that's true to a point, but it's been just nuts with everything and the way the world is right now. Like, I'm working for my normal job, like over 50 hours a week. It's insane. So I've just been incredibly busy and exhausted. I just feel like, oh man, I don't think I could create content today. So I'm sorry I took like about 2 weeks off, but I needed that break. If you hear talking in the background, my husband is still working, so he's on a conference call right now. The primer I used is my Emani Perfect 10 Primer Serum. I have just a tiny bit left, so I'm just trying to use this up. This is a really nice primer to moisturize. For my foundation today, I'm actually going to use my Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I actually like using this as a foundation, interestingly enough. And then we'll put on another concealer to highlight the under eye. But anyway, it's been super busy and I just can't keep up with it. I don't know what's going on. I don't want to complain because the way that the world is with everything going on, I'm just super happy and thankful to be employed. And I know not everyone has, that luxury of being employed. And there are those that are a lot less fortunate than me, but I have been struggling. It's been quite difficult. I've been very sad at times and feeling like a pit of despair, sad, and just kind of nervous about everything. And so, but I'm trying to rewire my brain a bit. I'm trying to be a little less harsh and critical on myself and saying it's okay that I don't get to everything right away. It's all right that I'm not producing content all the time, because I want to make sure that I'm providing and creating quality content for you guys. I know it's not, the highest quality it could be or can be. I don't have the best lighting, camera, all that kind of stuff. I really wish I did, but I know it's like a work in progress, It's all about the journey, and it's okay that everything's not professional quality right off the bat. So I'm trying to kind of rethink and like kind of reprogram my brain a bit, because I'm someone who's very critical of themselves, and I have a little bit of a perfectionistic side to me that wants to make everything look really nice. So the other day I went through my Instagram and I was like deleting all these pictures that I didn't like because I thought they looked bad, and it's the struggle. And it's funny because I think if you've been following me for a while, you do know that I act on the side as well. Not so much right now with everything going on. There's definitely no theater to really be taking part in. I've been able to do some digital plays, which is fun, where we do script reading through like a Zoom call, which that's been exciting. But I remember like just even thinking that when I act, tongue-tied here, that when I do act, I'm very hypercritical of myself, because I enjoy the process of it, but sometimes I feel like I'm not giving the best that I can. And I remember I did a play last fall, and I did it with a bunch of my friends, and those are people who aren't going to judge me, and yet I felt like I was failing them in every single way. And I was telling the director, who happens to be a good friend of mine, I was telling him, oh, I just don't think I'm giving you what you need, and I'm just worried that I'm going to ruin this whole show. So, but he's like, what are you talking about? Like, it's part of the process, and it is. We always tend to find our way as we keep, going on and practicing and rehearsing. But it's just something that I'm just kind of wired that way. It's hard to not think that way, and especially with someone like myself who has such high anxiety and, you know, bouts of depression here and there, it just kind of slowly eats away. But I'm trying to retrain, not try to think about what people think about me all the time, put out content that I enjoy and hope that you enjoy as well. So yeah, that's where I kind of am. And I'm really hoping to expand this channel and my blog and my Instagram. So hopefully, I did order a custom banner and like YouTube kind of branding from an artist on Etsy. So hopefully we can get started with that soon. I'm not sure if it'll be done by the time that I post this video, but if it is, it'll be like at the front and the end cards of my videos. So that'll be exciting. So I've got that going on. Oh, for concealer, I'm using the Colourpop No Filter Concealer. This is in the shade Light 16. This is probably the oldest concealer in my collection. I kind of forgot that I had it. I don't hate the concealer. It's actually a decent eyeshadow primer, but I'm not the craziest about the formula, so I want to finish it up because there's not too much product in the component to begin with. So another thing that's been going on, I have to talk to you. The last time I think I did a Get Ready With Me, I was talking about the pain, the chronic pain that I've been having. So you may have heard me complain about cramps that I've been experiencing for about 3 years now in my calves, to the point that it's almost become quite debilitating. It's hard for me to stand for long periods of time. I used to be an avid runner. When Chris and I, my husband Chris, when we first started dating, we would go running together. I used to be able to run for an hour straight and not stop. And then a couple years ago, right around when we bought this house, actually, my legs started to cramp up and I couldn't run, and then it slowly began to, then I couldn't walk very well, and even standing now is very uncomfortable for me. So I talked to a lot of my doctors about it, and they would say things like, oh, it's, you know, you're just dehydrated, drink more water. I had friends telling me, oh, take magnesium, maybe it's that. So I started, you know, having, oh gosh, I think drinking a gallon of water a day, taking all of these multivitamins to no relief whatsoever, which was kind of, you know, frustrating. And so that it just was like on and no doctor was really finding out what was going on. So cut to about a little over a month ago, I found a new primary care doctor closer to where I live, and it was just like this game changer. He goes, I don't think you're dehydrated. I'm not even sure if it's necessarily a full-on muscle issue. He said it could be something going on that's more, what was the words that he used? I think he said nerves. So like it might be like nerve pain, that kind of thing. Well, so he sends me to a specialist, an orthopedic and spine specialist. Within 15 minutes of seeing the specialist, I find out I have bilateral plantar fasciitis. What is that, you may ask? My arches are collapsing. My arches are collapsing, and that was causing the pain. So my ankles and my feet were trying to kind of compensate. So I just got more and more in pain, which was quite difficult. But I'm so happy now we have a course of action. He ordered physical therapy for me, so I'm in physical therapy. Ooh, someone keeps texting me. Goodness gracious. Sorry about that. If you hear the little, that's my phone. So I'm doing physical therapy, and they do like this ultrasound therapy for me, which is really interesting. I didn't know that ultrasounds can be used for therapy. I always just thought it was just to like kind of look inside and make sure all your insides were working correctly. So we're doing that. They've got me stretching. I had to go get custom orthotics made, which just seems like crazy. So, you know, I can't really wear all the cute shoes that I always used to wear. I can still wear them every now and then, just not for long periods of time, but pretty much I had to invest in house shoes because I can't walk flat-footed, like in bare feet anymore, because it's just too painful. It causes issues. I've been able to go for walks for the first time in years without incredible amounts of pain. I do still get sore because I think my body's still adjusting to everything, but I'm really happy with how it's going. So there's relief. So everyone, advocate for yourself and your health. If you feel like something is wrong, legitimately wrong, if you're still in pain and, you know, maybe you're not getting any kind of like results or answers, I definitely say, you know, try to get a second opinion, go to a different doctor, because it really just, it makes a world of difference. And I'm so happy that I did this. Oh, I didn't say what I was using. So I'm kind of contour bronzing. This is my Well People, the Bio Bronzer Stick and Natural Tan. So I've got that going. I think I'm going to use a lot more cream products today. So I've kind of been digging. There are these Milani. These are the Cheek Kiss Liquid Blushes. These are so good. They're infused, I think they're infused with real fruit, but these blend out so beautifully. So I'm just going to put a little on for these blushes, because these are really, really pretty formulas. Oh, what else did I want to talk about? Oh, so I was gonna make a video. You know how I do my Coffee Corner series? If you're newer to my channel, I have a series called Coffee Corner where I talk about bigger concepts with news that's kind of going on, particularly in the beauty world. So I had made a video. The last one I made was about Shane Dawson, and I normally, like, I don't want to talk about like drama stuff, you know, that's not what my channel's about. So, but I feel like sometimes I have to say certain things, especially when I feel like people are hurting or being hurt by certain people. Because I watched Jeffree Star's like apology, doing the right thing video, and so I'm gonna briefly just touch upon that, because I feel like I was so, it's disgusted. Yeah, I would say I was disgusted. It was a really god-awful video, and I have to say I can't believe that with all this said and done, with all this kind of proof and everything, that there's still like no accountability. And everything was just very contrived in the video. It was very disturbing to me how he still blamed everyone else for anything, and he didn't take any real accountability of what he did. He did apologize to James Charles. Oh, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a lot to unravel here. Maybe check out some videos by Smoky Glow. She's really good. She's more of like, she does a lot of beauty and commentary stuff. So if you go to, there's like a plethora of videos that she's done, and she has a really good response video to Jeffree's video, which I think was really good. But I have to say, I'm just really disappointed. And, you know, he starts the video, he's like on this giant gold crushed velvet, I don't even know what it was, a sofa between his like two giant grand staircases, and it's like so contrived and showing that he's like flexing, like, look at all my power and my success, and you can't take me down. And it just really, you know, I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt and think that they can change, but this person really, he's the one who went around and telling people that he had all this evidence that, you know, James Charles was a P word. And, you know, it almost ruined James Charles's life. Like, he almost hurt himself over it. And there's no lack of accountability there. He was saying that he let other people kind of gas him up and get him going, and he got really upset by that. So people got in his ear, but what doesn't make any sense is it seems like he's the one who got in everyone else's ear. He's the one who had this video with this voice note from an alleged victim, and he was the one who was spreading it around up till, like, what, in May? I think he was still, when he was on the Keemstar Mom's Basement podcast, he was still kind of threatening and saying, oh, I can show you, I'll play it for you what I have. But I feel like if this is someone's personal story, if this is a legitimate sexual assault claim, then why would you be just like throwing someone else's story around? Like, isn't that their story to tell? So it's all just very strange to me. And, you know, to be completely honest, while I don't think Tati is a saint, I was a really big fan of hers. You know, when I first started getting into makeup videos, and she was never in any kind of drama or anything. This was like the first time anything dramatic happened, and it's because people behind the scenes were telling her about all this stuff. So, you know, while I don't think she should have made her video, she was still being fed things, and if she was honest about her own sexual assault to Jeffrey and Shane and stuff, they used that to their advantage because she was, you know, a survivor of abuse, and that was a sensitive topic for her. I watched this really interesting video, and it was a specialist in body language, and he had looked at Tati's video and pretty much her most recent one, and he had said that, like, he could tell by the body language of hers that she was being honest with what she was saying. So while, again, she's not perfect, and, you know, I think she might have a bit of a savior complex, I do feel bad. I feel very concerned for her because she looks very gaunt, very thin. Obviously, this has taken an emotional and physical toll on her, and I just think it's just heartbreaking. I just wanted to give her a hug. It was so sad. And one thing I can't stand is how people are like, well, excuse me, you know, she's a grown 40-year-old woman. She can't be manipulated. And you're like, well, first of all, she's not 40. I think she's 38. But still, even if she was 40, I think you could be manipulated at any age. Like, what does age have to do with anything? It's all just very strange. Oh, for highlighter, I used my Clove and Hallow. This is their Hydraglow and Galaxy. So pretty, that natural highlight there. I realized I started doing my eyebrows, so I want to set. This is the CoverGirl Clean Fresh. I recently got this. I did a review back in December, I want to say, of the original Clean Fresh items in the line. I'll link it up above. But this is newer to the line. I really, really like this powder. This powder reminds me, I have a Nabla powder that this is kind of similar to. It's really good. Let me just find a powder brush. Okay. I'll set everything. This just gives a nice, fresh look to the skin without looking cakey. That's what I want in my powders. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, I am worried about Tati, but the Jeffrey video, what bothers me the most, I think, well, there was two things that bothered me the most. One was him saying, like, well, we're not going to, we all have to take accountability. Like, he's still coming from this place of, like, I'm going to teach you how you should act. And it really disturbs me just because everything that's being said about him, like, he's put out there. He's the one who says, I have dirt on everyone and everyone knows to keep their mouth shut or else I'll release this info. And like, he's just made a brand out of it, basically. And no matter what he does, there's just still he never says in the video what he actually did to James Charles, like the lies he actually told. All right, my battery died. So anyway, I just did, while I was off camera, I did my eyebrows. So I used my Colourpop Brow Boss in Ash Brown and the clear brow gel. I also, kind of topped off my bronzer a little bit. I used the Beauty Crop. This is the Sardinia Sand bronzer. I love how tiny this is, but I love how this is like kind of cool toned too. It's not really coming off as cool toned, but in real life it's a bit more cool toned. So kind of topped my cream bronzer off with that. So for my eyes, I'm going to go in with the Kaleidos Futurism 5. This is the Electro Turquoise. These colors, all right. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. Jeffree Star's video. I just couldn't believe the amount of like deflecting that was going on. And you know, it's weird because it's like he can dish out all this stuff about people, but then when people want to hold him accountable and bring his stuff up, he's like, oh no, I'm just not going to talk about it. No, I just can't talk about it. It's just, I can't anymore. what really, really grinds my gears about the whole thing, that like really got me, was when he started saying like, oh, but you know, my brand's really inclusive, and I've always had people of color in my campaigns. And then he started talking about Breonna Taylor and Black Lives Matter, and I was so angry that he did that he was using that to deflect on his own actions. Like, there can be terrible things going on in the world, but that doesn't take away from terrible things that you've done. And I am angry with myself that I was so ignorant about him for so long, you know, that I didn't look into things further. Like, I'm just sad that I ever had his like makeup products. It's just awful, and I can't deal with it anymore, and that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm sorry, I'm not going to tell people what to buy and who to support, but it was just shameful, absolutely shameful. And I still don't understand. Oh yeah, one last thing I do want to say about this. What bothered me too is that he kept on calling it the situation, and he was using like air parentheses, like, no, he was using air quotes, that's what he was doing. By calling it the situation, kind of takes the humans out of it. Like, it's taking about, oh, you know, spread a rumor about James Charles that wasn't true, and then by calling it the situation, you take him out of it. You take the human feelings about how much he was hurt and how much Tati hurts and everyone else hurts, and it's just nope. So what we're not doing, in the words of Jeffree Stars, we're not going to support him anymore on this channel. That's simple. That's what we're going to do. Alright, enough with the happy, because I'm just like, I don't want to talk about that anymore. Let's talk about more positive stuff. Things to stream and watch recently. What have I been watching recently that was really good that I wanted to share with you guys? I watched, Chris and I have started watching New Girl, which isn't a newer show. I think it ended like a year or so ago. It was on for a while. It started in 2011, I think. It is so funny. It's with Zooey Deschanel, and she's just this teacher that moves in with these three guys, and they're all in their 30s and they don't have their crap together, and it's so funny, but it's also really sweet too, and it has amazing guest stars. Like, so many people were on this show who did guest spots, and so as someone who loves like seeing ensembles and everything, it was just really, really enjoyable. So we've been watching that, binge watching it, and it just helps too. It helps when I'm feeling down, or when Chris and I are both feeling down, to watch something that makes us laugh. I mean, they even got Prince to come on that show, which I think is so cool. He must have been a fan, and, you know, to go on the show, because Prince didn't really do stuff like that. So, yeah, you gotta check it out. It's so funny if you haven't already. That's on Netflix. Another thing that I recently watched that I was actually really impressed with, it's another ensemble cast show. It's on Hulu, but it's an FX show, but it wasn't played on FX. I think because Hulu got the exclusive rights to the FX network, and the entire catalog, that they gave them the rights to this one specific show to only show it on Hulu. So it's called Mrs. America, and it's really cool. It's about like this feminist movement in the 70s, but then also the counter movement to it that was led by this woman named Phyllis Schlafly, and she was like this really big like kind of conservative, like she was really big in the conservative political realm, and she led a somewhat successful campaign against the ERA, which was the Equal Rights Amendment that they were trying to get pushed through at the time, which, interestingly enough, that Equal Rights Amendment has been ratified in certain states like recently, like within the past 10 years. But the show was just so good. Like there's characters like Gloria Steinem is portrayed in it, and it's a really, really great cast. There's a ton of people in it, like Kate Blanchett and Rose Byrne and is her name Uzo Adoba? I'm sorry if I'm butchering her name. She's fantastic. But she played a woman named Shirley Chisholm that I had never heard about in school. Like, and I'm a big history person, and so Shirley Chisholm was a black woman who ran for president in the 70s. I'm like, why is this not taught in schools? And I looked her up, and she was a really, really great politician who did a lot for the public space, and I was like, why does no one know who this woman is? Like, she should be taught in schools. And anyway, I just thought that was really cool. So if you're looking for something interesting to watch, highly recommend that one. I have no idea what I'm doing with my eyeshadow here. I immediately went into like the teal and the turquoise shades because they were just calling my name. So I'm going to pass the ball back to you guys and ask, what kind of content do you want to see? So I can create content here on YouTube if you want to see different videos. I have my website, CompassionateChic.com, which is my blog, that I'm more than happy to produce content for you there. And then of course I have my Instagram. So you just let me know. I'm always happy to provide content that you guys want to see. I know that someone had asked me on one of my previous videos when I did a video about the Joshua Tree palette for Aether Beauty. They wanted me to rank my Aether Beauty palettes, so that is something I could definitely do. I have that on my list. I have like this, I have this ongoing list. Let me show you, hold on. Makeup break. So I have these, this is like my little notebook here. I'll show you. Isn't he cute? I have my little hedgehog. Isn't he adorable? I love furry woodland creatures, guys. I'm such a sucker. So anyway, I have like notes in here about videos that I want to do, and I just kind of like list everything down. So I always write ideas down. It's just because I've been so busy with work, it's been really difficult for me to just produce content at a faster rate. So, hi, love.
Oh.
Hi. Oh, I started filming with the AC back on. Could you turn that off for me?
Oh, certainly.
Oh, I did. I forgot because my battery died. I went to charge it and then I turned that on. I forgot to turn it off. All right, so I'm so sorry. I just realized that I started filming again with my AC on. It's been so hot here, like 90 degrees, totally just so uncomfortable. So I'm apologize if you hear all that background noise briefly. So I remembered to turn it back off. It's hard for me to remember to turn it off for some reason. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think it's just because it's like white noise almost. I forget that I even have it on. All right, I'm gonna go, you know what I'm gonna do? This shiny blue shade here. I feel like a mermaid. Oh my goodness, I feel like a mermaid. And I'm singing to you. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of feel like a mermaid right now, and I'm living for it. And I know mermaid stuff is kind of childish or creepy because depending on how you see them, if you see them, I guess, as sirens or not. I have to admit, I know this is not a review, it's just to get ready with me, but I'm kind of obsessed with Kaleidos eyeshadow formula. Everything is just so pretty and easy to work with, and such unique color stories too. I think we need to do just a little bit of brightening, so I'm going to go into my Colourpop Cream Gel Liner. This is an Exit. This is the white cream liner. All right, now for something I'm really excited to try out. This is from Urban Decay. This is their new Lash Freak mascara. I actually got this courtesy of Influencer, so I'm so excited to receive like PR, like Urban Decay PR. It's very exciting. So this is a really interesting mascara. This is what the component looks like. This is my first time trying it. I don't want to give it a review during this video. I'll eventually post a review, probably on my Instagram, and then maybe follow up either in a video or something. But it's so interesting. This is supposed to volumize, define, and lift, and you can do different things with the brush. It's like a bizarre, really bizarre looking brush. Let's see. Okay, this is what it looks like. So it says to volumize, let's see, pro tip volumize. You're supposed to use this kind of longer side with the most bristles. Do you guys ever listen to certain music during seasons? Am I the only person that does that? I feel like I may be. I have certain albums that I listen to or songs that I listen to seasonally. Some of my artists that I, like, favorite artists that I love are like Fiona Apple and Lana Del Rey. So once the fall comes around, like, I'll listen to Lana's NFR album because there's this song called Cinnamon in it that ever since I heard that song, it just does things to me and I get all emotional, but in a good way. And there's just something that makes me want to have like a tea or a coffee and sit by a window when it's raining. Like the leaves are kind of like moving around outside. I really don't know what it is, but there's just something magical about it. So I don't know. Let me know if you do that too. So to lift, then you flip it on the other side to the shorter edge, and there's just this shorter, like, little bristles that are supposed to lift. So I'm gonna do that. Oh, okay. It's separating the lashes, that's for sure. Holy crap, okay. This is such a bizarre mascara. It's very interesting. Okay, then to define, you're supposed to take this little edge here and like, oh, this was to define, okay. And then you like lift upwards. Ah, I see. Interesting. Wow, this mascara is super pigmented too. Well, okay then. So we'll have to keep testing this out, but wow, that's pigmented. Okay. All right, I actually had a lip product on before. I didn't like the way it looked, so we're gonna go in and do it again. I just wiped it off, so I have a bit of pigment left, I think, on my lips. The lipstick I'm going to go in with is from Mented Cosmetics. I bought a set of 3 of these. These are their semi-matte lipsticks, and they're a completely vegan brand, and they're Black owned as well, so happy to support these. I've heard really good things about their lipsticks. This is like a really beautiful, soft, matte bullet lipstick. I love how this looks like. It almost reminds me of what the MAC lipsticks look like. I haven't used a matte lipstick in a long time. So this shade is Peach Please. So it's a deeper peach. It was so much fun getting to get ready with you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far through the video, please put a comment down below with a little peach emoji because you are a peach and you are very sweet. So thank you so, so much again. And until next time, my friends, remember to stay compassionate and chic. Bye.